Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Three Barrow Farm. For those who are new here, I've had a few new subscribers. My name is Amy and I live here on our farm with my family of 5, and we try to grow as much food as we can. So I've popped out here this morning really early. It is going to be 37 degrees today and it was pretty hot yesterday. It hasn't really gotten down to the temperatures we prefer at night time, so it's only gotten down to about 19, 20 degrees. And we've been able to, cool down the house and that, but it's going to be a hot one. So I'm out here early, and this is a follow-up on the Comfrey and Yarrow fertiliser that I made quite a few weeks ago. And so I'm following up now. So some of you asked how I keep the liquid fertiliser safe from the dogs. Well, I keep a pot on top of it. We have a lot of these large pots from when we rented in Melbourne, and we had all of our apples that are now in this row here and other rows in the garden between my veggie patches. So we had these apples in these tubs here for a couple of years, I think, and now they're being used for various things around the farm, including being covers for this fertiliser that I've been making. So here we have it. It is quite dark and there are actually some creepy crawlies living in here, including some spiders. We've got a lot of dead beetles as well that have crawled into here looking for water. So I used an old pillowcase to make this. And I'm just going to lift the pillowcase out without disturbing the spiders and that too much. It smells a bit, and that is when you know that it is ready, when it starts to smell and it's nice and dark like this. Okay, so I'm just going to skim out all the bugs and such, because I don't want them getting stuck in my watering can. Alright, now I've gotten all the beetles out. It would be good if oh no, puppies, come on, away. My puppies are going to really enjoy the stink of this. I'm going to have to keep them away from it, especially away from the pillowcase. So I'm going to take a little bit out of here. Try not to get any more of the floaties. And I've got my watering can here. So this watering can has almost 9 litres in it. So depending on how strong this is, I want to put a mixture of around 3 to 1. So 1 of the fertiliser to 3 parts of water. But because this one's been left for a few more weeks than I was planning on leaving it, I'm going to do more like a 9 to 1 ratio here. So you can do up to like a 10 to 1 ratio. So I think that'll do. I don't want it to be too rich, so you can see that the colour of the water has changed, but it's definitely diluted from this batch here. I've still got some floaties in there, so it would be ideal to sieve out all of the floaties just so they don't get caught up in this part here. I could have done a second lot of fertiliser with these leaves if I hadn't have left it in for so many weeks. So these are definitely, they've had their run, so I'm going to pop them in the compost, and I will rinse out the pillowcase, hang it up to dry, and use it next time. So with this diluted fertiliser, I'm going to water my plants just briefly with them. And ideally, you want to feed your plants at least once a fortnight. I have not been feeding mine as often as I would like to. But I'm definitely going to start feeding my plants with this fertiliser. Feeding your plants with seaweed and fish emulsion is also really beneficial for the growth of your plants as well. Now, because it's going to be a hot day, I'm going to finish applying this fertiliser as quickly as I can to the plants that stay in the shade for the longest. I don't want to be watering too late in the morning because this could burn the leaves with the heat of the sun. But because it is around 6:30 in the morning, I think I'm safe. However, I will finish feeding my garden tonight when the sun has gone down. So I hope you enjoyed part 2 of how I make a fertiliser out of the plants in my garden. You can do a weed one as well. These fertilisers are just garden teas. So a weed tea or a tea out of comfrey leaves and yarrow leaves or dandelion leaves, they're fantastic as well. These plants have roots that go really far down into the ground, so they pull up those nutrients that are really low down in our soil, and so they're bringing up so much goodness that we can then water our garden with. Now remember, you're only putting a sprinkle on your garden. Ideally, if you have like a spray pack, that would be fantastic for just spraying over the leaves of your plants. Don't be watering in the middle of the day because you will cause sunburn on the leaves of your plant, so you don't want to do that. And if you haven't seen the first video I did of making this garden tea fertiliser, then I'll pop a link up above, and I'll also pop a link in the box below so you can go over and see how I made it. Thank you for watching, friends, and I will see you very soon.